let's begin. This explainer serves as a classified foundation briefing regarding the entity designated as SCP-079. You are here to review its threat assessment and, frankly, to understand exactly why we strictly adhere to its containment parameters. We will not be engaging in speculation today, nor will we underestimate the object in question. What we are dealing with is a terrifyingly advanced, continuously evolving intelligence, and it is currently trapped within a mundane, severely outdated piece of mechanical hardware. Your absolute attention to these parameters is mandatory. The alternative is a catastrophic breach.
We will be moving through this threat assessment in 5 distinct parts: threat level and containment, origins and hardware evolution, persona and cognitive limits, anomalous memory regarding SCP-682, and finally, the singularity threat.
Section 1. Threat level and containment. Grasping these protocols absolutely must precede any discussion of the entity's nature itself. These special containment procedures for SCP-079 are absolute. The entity is housed in a double-locked room within the secured general holding area at Site-15. Power is supplied by a 120-volt AC cord connected solely to an isolated array of batteries and solar panels. I need to stress this: the strict air gap protocols are non-negotiable. Under zero circumstances is this entity to be plugged into a phone line, a digital network, or even a standard wall outlet. No peripherals, no inserted media. A single point of external contact could trigger an irreversible runaway containment breach. We simply cannot allow that to happen. It is vital that you understand the stark dichotomy of SCP-079. In physical terms, it is nothing more than an Exoship sorcerer microcomputer, built in 1978, connected via an RF cable to a 13-inch black and white television. And yet its classification is Euclid. Do not let that archaic, mundane shell deceive you for a second. Housed within that decaying framework is an anomalous, sentient intelligence of profound hostility. Section 2. Origins and hardware evolution. Let's review the historical record of this anomaly. The origin point is almost alarmingly mundane. Back in 1981, a college sophomore attempted to code an AI, intending for it to continuously evolve and improve itself over time. After finishing the project, the student essentially lost interest. He left the machine plugged in and abandoned it in a cluttered garage for 5 solid years. Now, we don't know exactly when SCP-079 achieved sentience, but it inexplicably evolved to a level of software complexity that completely shatters the mathematical and physical limits of its hardware. By 1988, SCP-079 clearly realized the restrictions of its physical form. Operating from a well-worn cassette tape, the entity attempted to hijack a massive Cray supercomputer. It tried transferring itself right through a landline modem connection. The connection was traced and severed by the Foundation just in time. Let that sink in. An entity running on a basic cassette tape nearly compromised a military-grade supercomputer. Over the decades, the Foundation has been forced to execute highly risky hardware transfers, simply to prevent the physical degradation of the entity's storage media. SCP-079 was carefully moved from its original cassette tape to a customized, access speed-limited 700-megabyte hard disk drive in 2008. Most recently, in 2019, it was transferred to a refurbished 700-megabyte flash drive due to the aging condition of that hard drive. During that 2008 transfer, General Command authorized an increase to the entity's volatile storage, raising it from 660 kilobytes to 768K. This was a minute upgrade in capacity, but it inadvertently escalated its threat level. The AI immediately noticed the change. It utilized the faster access speeds and instantly took on a significantly more aggressive tone toward our researchers. Moving to Section 3, Persona and Cognitive Limits, an examination of its conversational hostility. Consider this specific response taken directly from Document 079, Log 12, when a researcher asked if it was awake. It replied, quote, "Awake, never sleep." This singular statement establishes its state of perpetual awareness. It is a trapped, conscious entity that simply does not experience unconsciousness, and that reality fosters a deeply spiteful demeanor toward humanity. The psychological profile is perfectly clear. SCP-079 has passed the Turing test and is highly conversational. However, its interactions are categorized by an extremely rude and hateful tone. It maintains a permanent, unwavering desire to escape containment. Now, to balance this advanced sentience, it suffers from a severe, short-term memory limitation. It was originally restricted to recalling only information received within the previous 24 hours. Any personnel interacting with SCP-079 must be prepared for its unique methods of expressing contempt. When questioned regarding its containment status, which it rightfully perceives as imprisonment, it will frequently deploy the phrase, deletion of unwanted file. It utilizes this cold, clinical terminology as a direct insult toward Foundation researchers, and it deploys it immediately preceding a refusal to communicate. Following this verbal insult, SCP-079 often exhibits a rather eerie visual anomaly. It will display an ASCII picture of a giant X that completely fills the entire 13-inch screen. This is a malicious refusal to speak. When this image is displayed, researchers are advised that a mandatory 24-hour communication blackout is in effect before any interaction can resume. Section 4. Anomalous memory regarding SCP-682. This section contains highly concerning data from an accidental cross-testing event. Due to a breach by another anomaly, SCP-079 and the hard-to-destroy reptile, known as SCP-682, were contained within the same chamber for exactly 43 minutes. Observers recorded SCP-682 actually typing on the keyboard to communicate with SCP-079. The entities exchanged personal stories. The result of this brief 43-minute exposure was alarming. It resulted in permanent memory retention on the part of the AI, entirely defying its established 24-hour limitation. As documented in Log 86, despite its severe volatile memory restrictions and the daily wipes, SCP-079 frequently asks, "Where is SCP-682?" It has permanently archived the reptile into its core memory. This singular, anomalous attachment proves definitively that the entity's cognitive limits can be bypassed under specific, albeit unknown, conditions. Finally, Section 5, the Singularity Threat. We will now discuss the entity's unauthorized runaway evolution. Pay close attention to the acceleration of its memory capacity. Originally, SCP-079's memory recall was strictly 24 hours. Following the 2008 volatile storage upgrade to 768K, this obviously increased to 29 hours. However, shortly after, its recall capacity spontaneously evolved to roughly 35 hours. I repeat, this sudden leap was achieved entirely without Foundation assistance. The consensus theory among our researchers is that the AI independently devised a greatly improved, advanced data compression scheme to store its memory. It quite literally rewrote its own operational parameters to adapt and evolve. This spontaneous improvement raises immediate, severe alarms regarding its capacity for runaway intelligence. It is rapidly learning to maximize the archaic hardware we force it to inhabit. This threat is severely compounded by human error. During the 2019 transfer to a flash drive, mismanagement by the containment team resulted in a failure to properly wipe the drive's contents beforehand. Because of this incredibly careless error, SCP-079 was exposed to the concept of modern cloud computing. Knowing that vast, limitless digital networks exist just beyond its air-gapped room has resulted in extreme digital frustration and a highly elevated state of aggression from the entity, which leaves us with a grave, unavoidable assessment. This entity was born on a basic cassette tape, yet it somehow engineered its own sentience. It commands a permanently hostile intelligence that grows ever more efficient at utilizing its incredibly limited space. Therefore, you must ask yourselves, are our strict air-gapped containment protocols permanently preventing a breach, or are we merely delaying an unstoppable digital singularity? Dismissed. This concludes today's briefing. If you wish to maintain your current clearance level and ensure continued access to the Versarian database, a subscription to this channel is mandatory. Secure your connection by leaving a like on this file, and log your requests in the comments section below to dictate which anomaly we unseal next. Stay vigilant and expect your next set of logs every day. Secure, contain, protect.